Mis pancinco usteshpa, omine one, primeramente, saludos, respetos going out to everyone. I got right here Mr. Little Cholo from the beautiful city of MOORPARK.
Yeah, I mean, you said it, Little Cholo, but also go by just the, LC, the abbreviations.
LC?
LC,
Praise
Little
the
Cholo,
Lord.
Little Cholo.
Yeah, that's what's up. So,
But, I think a lot of people that are closer to the circle know me as JoJo. You know me as that too,
I think the courts knows you as a JoJo. That's
Yeah, a
not
lot
no
of people
secret,
that, the city.
So, how I met JoJo, I call him JoJo because in county jail you can't be calling people by their placazos. The way I met him is before we even go there, how was your upbringing? How was your life growing up as a kid before you got introduced to let's say the left side? The left side meaning the little dib and dab on the criminal underworld.
Uh, I think I grew up, you know, really in it. I have my family, everyone. I have my parents come from that lifestyle. My grandparents come from that lifestyle.
Great
It wasn't,
grandparents,
yeah.
great grandparents too.
My great grandma, she was one of the first ones to come to the city, but my grandpa was one of the, he was I mean, obviously, with
One
the
of the
boys,
What's up, dog?
I don't know if you probably remember my grandpa too, Valentin. He's been in the county jail.
Yeah,
That's, it's another story.
that's neither here nor there. So before we even proceed, I would like to say, and I say this to everyone, we are going to be conversating, trying to keep it positive, but I do ask everybody to please do not incriminate yourself and do not talk about any open cases, unsolved crimes, uh, stuff like that.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that there is. I'm just saying heads up because
yeah.
this does get viewed by it's public information, bro. So, yeah, me personally, I'm a registered gang member, though. So once you're a registered gang member, it doesn't matter. If you're not a registered gang member, though, I wouldn't even touch on that.
Yeah, I'm still new to the whole, posting and seeing, I mean, I know that media is where it's at, but I know the streets are watching. A lot of people tuning into a lot of different things, and like everybody, I watch too. I see and I know what not to say.
When you got out from prison, did you have to sign up as a register as a gang member?
I've been registering as a gamer since I was a kid.
Yeah.
Since my first. Yeah.
186.22 as a juvenile,
Yep.
and then as an
Every
adult.
time you get out, every time you get a new
Okay,
residence.
So at what age do you consider yourself no longer innocent, or
Or like what time is like what age did I start?
like
in the mix?
at what age do you consider yourself no longer liking cartoons? You know what I mean? And rather be in the calle with the homeboys.
I
Because it
mean,
gets to a
I
certain.
think those that know me, they know that it wasn't like I had to go out and look for it. It wasn't like I had to be out in the streets. Like it was right there in my living room, in my backyard, and so I started like really young, bro. Like I was already on probation at 10 years old. My parents picking me up from the police station. The old MOORPARK police station. We used to have a little trailer right there on Flory Avenue. 10 years old. I mean, I started getting in trouble in juvenile hall. I hit 12 years old, but we were already little taggers and riding bikes and
So you were tagging the whatever. I don't want to say the hood, right? But you were tagging the hood, or you were tagging the tagging crew.
when we were like like 9 years old, 10 years old. We had a little tagging crew.
Okay, yeah, no,
But
for sure.
we my all my family, my primos, everything, they were all from the neighborhood, so obviously they never liked that stuff. So, but we were already crowding up and had a little squad. We were just kids, dog, and just riding around the neighborhood, and these fools used to see us.
Yeah.
And
So how was it growing up in Moore Park? If you have any normal experiences, uh, if you would like to share for those that don't know, I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody's proud of where they're from, but there's also like normal stuff that goes on.
yeah, I'm pretty sure you get the same thing. I come from a small neighborhood, a little neighborhood, and not a lot of people have heard about it.
Now they have.
Even even when I've gone to places, other places, people are like, "Where's that at?" And a lot of people think it's up north. You know, but we right here, bro, on the, on the coast, west of LA, fucking. But MOORPARK was, for me, bro, it was.
You are the nearest to
wild.
LA than anything else.
Yeah, we were, right there, San Fernando Valley's over the hill, But my neighborhood's old school, our family, they go back, It's not like we just, came out of nowhere. Like we got history,
MOORPARK is from the Cooper days.
The deep roots.
And when I say Cooper days, that's where they used to cruise all the veteranos,
Yeah.
So there was only certain barrios that were around back then. It's a beautiful history, but we're not that old to really dive into it, We're a different generation, but so anyways, where's the best place? Like if someone's for out of town they want to go to MOORPARK to eat. Plus, before you reply to that, before you answer, I would like to say, if you ain't never heard of MOORPARK, just Google the Acorn newspaper, and you will hear about MOORPARK.
Ventura County Star.
The Ventura County Star too. Just Google MOORPARK. You'll see what it is.
I think if you are balling on a budget, like you go to the hood, mandatory fucking Hawaiian barbecue, Yummy's Hawaiian barbecue.
Hawaiian barbecue?
Yeah, it's right there on Park Lane. And then, but if you're trying to go to dinner and eat fancy, you're going to go to Frida's, probably on High Street,
Frida's?
High Street's downtown. That's the old town. That's the neighborhood right there,
I seen they got like a comedy on the old town, huh?
They got a theater, old school theater. It's been there for years. And they're just opening up a whole. I worked on that. I did a lot of the framing and work right there.
What type of work do you do, if you don't mind me asking?
Right now, carpenter.
Carpenter?
Yeah.
In the union?
Local 805, yeah.
Local 805? Praise the Lord. Camarillo right there, Dawson?
Yeah.
Praise the Lord. You're getting paid good then.
I mean, I'm starting to,
Apprentice?
try to get the ball rolling, yeah.
Nah, it's any job is a good job.
I'm on the late train, dog, You know where I've been the last decade,
We're both on the late train, but any job is a good job, but the union jobs are better,
Yeah.
So anyways, what's up with the hyenas? Did you have a hyena growing up? People want to know, dog. People are gonna look it up and they're gonna be like intrigued, like, what's up with this fool? Ojos verdes, green eyes. Did you have hyenitas? What is it?
Nah, right now
growing up.
Oh, growing up. I mean, bro, we were like, we were always like, there was always a lot of us, so because we were so small and tight knit, bro, like, like we I don't really know how to, like, explain it, but I'm pretty sure there was parties, we were partying.
Yeah, no, for sure. So around what age, right? We're gonna skip juvenile halls because people really don't care unless you've been to YA. You know what I'm saying?
No, but we was rocking and rolling.
No, for sure.
But okay, I know a lot of people don't care, but a lot of people can't tell those stories.
Let's talk about it. Okay, so juvenile halls. Who was your enemigas? Enemigos. I want to be respectful towards everyone.
Yeah,
Who was the enemy?
In juvenile hall, I thought we went at it with all our neighbors.
All the neighbors.
Yeah, all the neighbors.
So you get in juvenile halls. Explain to us how juvenile halls was. You went to old halls?
No, I never went to the old house.
Okay, so you were over here.
El Rio.
You're right there in Matilla, huh? You're right there in
Balcom. Yeah, Sycamore, Wheeler. Yeah, Santa Rosa. Not Santa Rosa.
The gym.
Santa Cruz.
Oh, you went on Santa Rosa.
No, Santa Rosa was
talk to us about some fades. Who was your favorite enemy to fight?
It's a trip because a lot of homies that I got down with back then, like I'm cool with them now. Like we have that little like bond.
People grow up, my boy.
There's a few solid homies that shout out to fucking Sins from Crimies.
Sins from Crimies.
Yeah, Psycho used to go by Psycho or something. But,
so you used to always get down with him or what?
Yeah, and we used to go into the laundry room, because after so many times, dog, like you still want to be getting your little,
for sure.
You want to get your little.
That's in the programs.
Treats at the end of the week,
That's in the programs, I think, because
we could go into the laundry room and handle it,
In juvenile halls, you couldn't really go to the laundry room,
Yeah.
In Matilla Hall, or like
it was a blind spot.
Yeah.
The little blind spot in the yard.
And in the yard, they could hear everything though.
But I mean, sometimes the staff would just look the other way, or like, because most of the time they tripping, we going live, we getting off. And
so you were getting off on Crimies. Who else?
Oh, so the main ones. I mean, my homie died around that time, So my homie got killed.
We don't want to talk about that.
But so anything that I felt was any like related to it, or like just I had a lot of anger and frustration, and those were the ones that I was trying to get after. There was a couple incidents. So
That's what's up. How much time did you do in juvenile halls?
from 12 years old to 18, I turned 18 in there.
You did 6 years in there, flat?
Not straight, no, not straight. I did 5 months at a time,
Little
6 months
hiccups?
at a time, and then my last couple years I did like 9 months, and then I did a year.
So now you're 18 years old. You've been around, obviously. Your grandpa's a veterano. Your dad's a homeboy. Maybe your sisters. I don't know. Like it is what it is.
Yeah.
You're a cholo. You're a gangster, right? So you're 18, and what happens then? The reason why I'm asking is because I know what happened.
Yeah.
I know the story.
Well, I was 17. I got possession of firearm. So it was a big deal at that time. And so that's when I came home. I was 18. I kind of felt like I was that guy, but at the same time, I was still trying to do good. Since I was a little kid, I was always in there. So at that 18 mark, you feel like you're done with it. You know what I mean? Like I say, I'm not trying to do no time.
Some people start around that time. Some people want to.
Yeah.
No, some people.
I mean, most people start around that age.
Yeah.
But
I see people retire at around 21. I seen people retired at 16.
It wasn't so much like a reason, because I know what you mean. I wasn't so much like, hey, I'm gonna stop. It was more like, hey, fool, I want to be smart. Like I'm not trying to be getting caught up all the time. But
okay, so tell us how you were smart at 18.
I started going to school.
No, yeah. That's good right there. I commend you for that. Yeah. I thought you were gonna come at us with some BS, but I respect that, my boy.
I'm keeping it real.
I don't mean to come at you any.
It was fucked up because we had well, my parents split up at that time. My pops.
You don't have to tell us about that, Perrillo.
Yeah.
Because everybody's gonna hear this, not even including your parents.
We'll cut that out of here.
Oh.
But
I don't know about cutting it out, but I can cut it out.
You know what I mean? Like I just because that's the reason my mindset at that time.
No, if you want it in there, that's gonna go in there. It's nothing bad. I'm warning you that everybody's gonna.
Yeah, no, I ain't tripping. I ain't tripping because my mom moved back to the neighbor, right there to the apartments, So that's how kind of everything started brewing. It started.
Yeah, I do remember your dad having a younger Anita.
My dad was, that's big Cholo, Yeah. My dad, people know him. My dad was a fool, He's got deported. I said, shout out to Cholo,
He's deportados in TJ.
Yeah, we're out there right now.
My homeboy, shout out to my homeboy Huesos from El Rio. He's over there deported in Mexico.
My tío Mousy too. That's my dad's brother. They out there,
Shout out to Mousy.
All the homies, bro. There's a lot of people out there.
There's a lot of people reported.
Yeah.
Isn't Huesos deported for MOORPARK? I've heard a lot about him. I don't know.
He did, but
well, it is what it is. Yeah. I don't want to talk about it.
Nah, that's my brother's dad. So yeah.
That's your brother's dad.
So yeah, Huesos.
So you could talk about it.
Yeah, that's my family. That's my boy.
Sure. I just heard a lot of good things about the dude.
Yeah.
Growing up, I was like, damn, I want to meet that fool. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I still talk to him. He's still doing good.
Before we proceed, shout out to the fools that I grew up with in the system. Shout out to Little Puppet from MOORPARK. Shout out to Sporty from MOORPARK. Shout out to Little Criminal from MOORPARK. If I missed your name, hey, shout out to you. If I know you that good, and shout out to the older homie Gato. Gato was he was there when I was in my first time in county.
Yeah, shout out Gato. Gato probably gonna see this for sure. Huh?
Yeah, but shout out to everybody in MOORPARK. Everyone as a community. I don't care if you're from Michoacan, ODA. I don't care if you're from Charles Street.
ODA, that's the fam right there. ODA, they all right there. MOORPARK.
I'm telling you,
family. We grew up with all them.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you. I know the inner strife or whatever, but I'm shouting at everyone in MOORPARK because I want you all guys. If you see this, share it with someone else because this is the first homie from MOORPARK to make an interview. So now you're 18 or 19 when you go to county jail.
Yeah, well, see, I was saying, like, we moved to those apartments and all that, like, it didn't take too long for me to start, getting back up in, I mean, it wasn't too far away regardless, but, like, I was back in the mix, bro, back up in the mix, and at that time, I think, you know, that's how I met a couple of the homies that you know, that you were in contact, you know, with.
I was not in contact with nobody.
No, but just because, you know, like
Yeah.
you hear about people when you're out, you know.
Yeah, no,
like,
for sure.
you hear, like, you know, and we come from a small area, you know, a
For
small
sure.
county, and you know, people talk, dog. It is what it is, you know. At that time, you know, I was young. I was 18, and you know, that was the first time that, you know, I don't know if I can say it, but I mean, the politics was coming to my neighborhood, you know.
I don't know what that is, you know, but at the same time, bro, you know, when you're 18, you're not really knowledgeable
Yeah,
of
for
everything
sure.
that's going on in the world.
All I knew was you know, where I had
Yeah,
just come from, you know,
yeah,
juvenile hall, and then
gang
from my
banging,
neighborhood, you know, like
yeah,
the
gang banging, todo eso, you
it's
know.
like a what do you say, a crab in a bucket mentality. It's a small, you know, like I wasn't really, my mind wasn't, you know, really out.
You weren't developed in
Yeah,
the mente. You weren't illuminated. You weren't
and
enlightened.
I
You
wasn't
know,
prepared for what was coming next, you know.
however you want to slice the pie. So what did come next? What did
Um,
come next?
so 2012 was the year I got indicted.
Okay. Oh, so you got indicted.
Yeah,
Okay.
2012.
2012.
Not just me, it was, you know, a few of my family members.
Few.
Yeah,
Not just one.
I mean, my pops, you know, my pops,
Okay, your pops.
one of my primos,
One of
you
your
know,
primos.
a couple other homeboys,
The
and then
youngsters were your primos, or who was your
no,
primo? I mean, they got indicted. They.
Sporty.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. You're right. You're right.
yeah,
It was a few, huh?
yeah. And then, you know,
Is that the biggest case that MOORPARK has ever had?
yeah, yeah. I mean, gang related, yeah.
We're not gonna say it was gang related, you know what I
Well,
mean?
yeah. I mean,
But I'm just talking about the
I'm still
case.
kind of, you know,
Yeah,
I don't, you know, I know it's raw, you know, it's raw. I've
I
never
mean,
even
we
really,
signed for the
yeah, I never really even up until this point, you know, never really talked about it like that time, you
Yeah,
know,
no,
that
you could talk about what you are. You could talk about if you want about what you're being arrested and convicted for. You know, so at that point you're out there, you're kicking it. Uh, maybe
So
you're
originally, I got busted on we got on a high speed chase, you know.
on a high speed chase.
Yeah, so we went on a high speed chase. It was in Simi Valley. It was literally the day after my 19th birthday, so I was already 19. You know, I
So when
turned.
I met you, you were 19
Yeah, it was. Yeah, county. Yeah, I met you in the county dungeon,
in the
right?
dungeon, right?
Yeah.
Speak a little louder, perreo. No,
Ca-
no, you're good. You're good. Just speak a little louder. So you get into a high speed chase. How did that happen?
Do I get into like how that morning went, or
Well,
like?
you could only if you got convicted for it.
Yeah, I already did the time for it. You know, I did the
Yeah.
time already for
No,
it.
yeah, you can talk about it. I mean, they know about it. You did the
Yeah.
time.
Um, I mean, even if you could even, you know, look it up on the, you know, Google it, 2012, you know,
Jojo
indictment,
Morales.
Ventura County, you know. But I wasn't the only one. There was a lot of people. 30, I think it was 30,
27,
31.
I believe.
Yeah, and then
27,
31 counts originally.
35.
Yeah, obviously I don't even freaking remember.
Yeah, no. It
um, it was a lot.
was
You
a
know,
lot.
it was a lot. But that was I didn't get indicted until 2 months into the county already.
2 months into the county.
Yeah, so first time county jail, first time ever green band. I didn't know anything about the bands. I didn't know anything about classification. I didn't know anything about what it looked like in there. You know, I mean the stories. You know, I hear stories of homies telling stories about. You
Yeah.
know, that's all. I mean, you know, I knew the juvenile hall. I didn't, you know, but it was a whole different world I was walking into. You know, those that have been down there, they know. You know, so I remember just that morning, bro. You know, I remember just to be honest with you, I was tagging along. You know, I was tagging along. Um, you know, the homies were, you know, I guess, you know, plotting on a way to, you know, eat. You know, and I ended up tagging along. We ended up going to Simi Valley, and next thing you know, bro, like, you know, we're on a high speed chase, and I remember, you know, they fucking got us, you know, pretty much at fucking
Gunpoint.
yeah, at gunpoint, like every direction. They hit our car.
They crashed your car when they didn't have to.
Yeah.
Those deputies were very
So I mean, people could read about the case, you know, like they could look at, you know.
Yeah, no, but those deputies were very, very harsh. You know,
So they
were
had just developed a task force,
multitask agency.
yeah, just
meaning
that year they had put it together for that investigation, you know.
Meaning it was the best cops from every agency in the county together.
ATF.
Well, that was the FBI. They were on a different note, but it was the same. Two investigations into one particular uh, crowd of suspects at the time. You know, so the high speed goes on. You get arrested for it, or you get away.
No, that we get busted that day. So we get busted that day. I remember it was me and one other individual, um, and then there was another other two in another car. So when I had walked into the East County Jail in Thousand Oaks,
Yeah.
I had seen them. You know, I didn't know what was going on. Like, to be honest with you, like there was still a lot of questions going on in my head. Obviously, because I didn't know that, you know, we had been under surveillance. They had been
Yourself included.
myself included, for months. You know, had been months. Phone conversations, you know,
Everything.
every wiretaps, everything I've been listening to. I didn't know anything as at this time, but obviously I knew something was up. You know, I walked into the main jail and thinking that I was just doing a violation. You know, because they ended up, you know, right away. What is it? I don't know if it's an OR or fucking dry run, like some shit. You know.
They do a lot of dry runs when you're under investigation. They do a lot of dry runs, meaning no charges filed.
But they were able to hold me for a violation.
For a violation, yeah,
Yeah.
they'll violate you.
So that
Otherwise,
was
you'll get too suspicious and go to Mexico.
that was my first experience down there. You know, I met some, you know, some of the, you know, probably some of the best homies from the county right there. You know, just because, you know, that's segregated. You know, segregated housing.
So basically, for those that don't know, he said Green Band is the most extreme segregation isolation they have in Ventura County, and it's underground. So the sections are 2 cells or 4 cells. There's two sections that are 4 cells, and the other sections are 2 cells each. So there's 16 cells down there, and that's how they break them up into sections. There's walls. You can't communicate with other people because unless you knock on the wall, bang on the wall, and start yelling, you really can't hear. So if you're stuck with somebody you don't like, you'll be right there for 6 months, right there. You know what I mean?
And it's trip, bro, because the whole time it was an experience, you know, because the first person that I seen when I walked in there was I don't know if you could say his name, but he was ended up being a CI, you know, confidential informant.
Yeah. See?
Yeah.
Chivis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was the first person that I had met and seen down there, and
Did he telling you? Did he wear a wire on you?
yeah, he did on the roof.
Chivis, yeah.
On the roof, yeah. So
He was
that
weird,
day,
huh?
that day of the high speed chase, something was thrown out the window, and they didn't find it. So, you know, one of the person that was with me ended up telling Chivis that that stuff was off the freeway and it was still there, and that
Yeah.
somebody needed to go get it.
Yeah.
So he ended up trying to get me to tell him what it was and where it was at, you know, on the roof. I mean, that's how it works, dog. Fools in the county jail, they're snakes, dog. You know, and it was a real shit. I was a kid, dog, experiencing this, seeing it for my first time.
No, for sure.
This fool tried to tell me, hey, I'm getting out next week. Like, you want me to go get that? Cool, dog. You know how it is. You know.
You told Chales?
I told him, cool, I'm getting out too.
Hell yeah, that's what's up.
Because fool, that's why I'm even probably here right now talking to you, dog. It was one of my memories, like core memories, where you're able to distinguish who's who, you know, because one of the first things you told me was don't talk to nobody.
When I met you.
Yeah.
So when I met you, I'm 26 years old. You're at what, 19? 19. And I don't even know you, right? And I tell you, first thing I tell you,
introduce myself.
Introduce yourself. First thing I tell you, don't talk to nobody about your case.
That's the first thing you said.
What else did I tell you?
You just said, fool, just kick it. You're good right here, you know? You're good right here. There's good homies, and you know, just talk. I just remember that, dog. You said don't talk to nobody, you know? And I remember, like, I held that, like, because I started seeing what was going on, you know? And
this is gonna be a clip right here. I'm gonna clip this.
You know what I mean?
You know?
And fucking I remember, bro, like after going to the roof with that fool and then coming back and then hearing all the other things that were taking place, it was like, it was a trip. And I remember like 45 days in, we ended up going to court, and you know, it was like we were thinking it's just a coincidence. Everybody's there at the same time. You start seeing fucking all the homies, familiar faces, dog, and we're all right there. Like fools are still in denial, saying we're all there for different shit, and this fool just came with the, with the paper, bam, again, it got indicted. First they threw a RICO act, you know what I mean, but thank God the feds, like didn't really.
How did you feel when you got indicted, when you seen all those charges, bro? Because everybody at first got like I think I don't know if I got the whole 35, but I think I had 19 felonies.
I think my first reaction, because it was all over the news, So my first thought was that like this is they're making it way bigger than what it is, I thought it was a publicity stunt.
I still think it was a publicity stunt.
Because but after the fact, after everything, it did go really deep. It was really deep, and it's,
But now that I'm out, thank God that I made it out.
yeah.
I'll tell I'll admit to anybody, I was really scared, thinking I was gonna get life. But now that I'm out, I thank God, homie, that that happened to me and I got arrested at that time, because the way my life was, if I would have stayed out, I would have caught another case that I wouldn't have came home from.
I was about to say the same thing. Like I really believe like God like orchestrated all these plays. I say that because like they were saying that we were looking at our life, the rest of our life. I think it was like multiple strikes, 7
I
strikes,
was everybody was looking at different
multiple
times.
life sentences.
I was looking at 2 life sentences plus 45 years. I ended up signing for 11 years.
Yeah.
But we were all looking at big time.
So I stayed, I think, a total of 16 months.
In county jail?
County jail, and then ended up signing after 16 months. The original deal was 12 years, and I signed for 9. 9 years with 2 strikes.
2 strikes.
Yeah, and fuck, well, that was probably the main thing I was trying to get off. The 2 strikes. And then they reclassified me. I think they did reclassify me before I left. To gray band.
Gray band.
Yeah.
And then you go to prison. How was prison?
Wasco.
Wasco.
Yeah. Wasco. So it was what, 2013, 14.
2014.
In Bulldogs on the bottom. I went to D1 both times, my both terms. D1.
Delta 1. That's the lifer building.
Yeah. So you already like it's the same. I like to say is that you're walking into a different world, dog. I use that phrase because like prison is not the same as like being in the streets, and like streets not the same as like being like like
Yeah, no,
there's no
sure.
circles, dog.
Yeah.
And I was walking in, I was walking even reception R&R, R&R off top. You're there, dog. I was young, but I was ready. I was ready. I felt like I was ready. Felt like I was grateful to have a lot of good people around me at that time to kind of guide me.
Everybody thinks that it's all bad when you're in there, but there's actually a lot of good gente in there that are really remorseful, that are really positive, that really want you to win and get out and go home and don't come back.
Yeah, and I will say that they're like that that it does get scary, but not in the scary like how people think. Like, oh, like because obviously prison that stuff does happen, but it was more like because of what we were going through, like what people's intentions were, and where you were gonna land and who you were gonna have to,
explain yourself to.
Yeah, because there was a lot of things in the air.
Yeah, there's a lot. There was that I've never talked about.
A lot of it's not news.
No, that I've never talked about. That's not for us to talk about.
Yeah.
Because it's nobody's business, dog. But yeah, we were in a very dangerous situation when we got to prison, dog. That's all we could say, and it is what it is. We got there, we walked the line, and we came home safe. Thank God,
Yeah. So once started, everything was cool, and fucking I ended ended up catching my first case, right, or not even a case, but my first write up right there.
Right up
Yeah, write up with the Bulldogs.
with the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I got stories for days with the Bulldogs.
I remember their
How
names and everything.
how did you like you know their names?
I remember their names.
Their placazos from their hood. Shout them out.
I don't know their hood. I think it was Neto. He had the middle finger on his face.
Oh no, if you don't know his hood, there's like 10
Yeah,
hoods
there's a
right
bunch
there.
of there's a bunch of them.
Yeah, there's like 10
Little,
hoods right
little dog, that fool was with the business.
there. Yeah, no, for sure. Little dog from where?
Usually,
You know?
nah, I don't know what hood.
We got a soldier in the background. Don't move. I'm just gonna tell him to he's on camera. Salute the camera, sir. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Oh, for sure, dog. And so how many bulldogs did you get down with? How did you like doing time with them? I think the bulldogs.
I mean, I was young, so the disrespect was kind of like, you know, I wasn't like, it didn't sit well, you know, but you come to understand, dog, later, you know, like you come to have a good understanding of it. You know, I wouldn't say that they're like us, you know, like it's a whole different.
I feel like the bulldogs are a very intriguing group.
Yeah.
I've always been fascinated.
So that's the reason why, because when I got, you know, when I made my move, it was because I felt that, you know, I felt that type of way. These fools were cracking the doors on the homies.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And you know,
and we were cracking the doors on them.
Yeah, you know, it goes back and forth, but like what, you know, like what I seen, you know, what I had seen, and then, you know, that's what led up to it, and then not only that, but the homie, you know, that was my Sally, pretty much was like, "You're good, fool. Like, handle your business," you know. And they're jumping over the fence right there.
Yeah.
You know? They were walking to medical, so it was cool, you know.
See, I never was around where it was okay to do that, but I'm not gonna I'm not gonna go into detail about that because you know, they do it.
Yeah.
They do it, and it is what it is, you know. So you jump the fence of the Bulldogs. Actually, I've never really met too many people that has
there was so 15 homies went over.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's a unique, rare occasion.
And the whole yard tried.
Yeah, no, for sure. People get shot.
Yeah.
People get sprayed.
And like, and I will point that out, that when I got there, like, that was a thing to where it wasn't allowed. We weren't doing that, you know.
Yeah,
like,
no, for
we're
sure.
not allowed to do that.
Just I don't want to send the wrong message either.
Yeah, no, for sure. You know, we go through the proper channels, you know. and I was young, you know. I was young and you know, just ready, bro. And we feel disrespected, bro, you know.
No, for sure, for sure. They were going to medical, or how they
were walking to medical.
They were walking to medical. Yeah. Well, I had a lot of experience with them, but you know, this is not my story. It's yours. So now you're that's the only incidents that you had right there in Wasco.
Yeah, in Wasco, yeah.
And then where you go to after that?
Ironwood.
Ironwood. You like Ironwood? It's hot.
Yeah, I didn't like Ironwood.
Like California, Barrio Cuchillos.
I feel like, yeah. I remember walking outside, you feel like you're walking into like an oven. That's how hot it was, bro. Like, it's a different kind of heat.
Yeah, no,
you know?
for sure.
I wasn't there long.
Then you go to Arizona.
But that was my, you know, that was my first time.
First time. So you go to Arizona.
Yeah. So they're sending up out of state. Yep.
Mississippi.
Mississippi.
And then after Mississippi, where did you go to?
That's where we seen each other. From Mississippi, went back to Arizona, stayed in the hole for 4 months.
4 months.
Then to Chino, layover. Then to Centinela.
CR. Oh, you went to the 4-yard.
Yeah.
Oh, praise the Lord.
The fucking.
Nah. I mean, we're not gonna talk about all that, you know. Yeah. That's neither here nor there.
Nah, but you know, it's the family. You know, I met a lot of good people there too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If they gave you permission, that's fine, you know. But I don't like to touch on that because I really, I mean.
No, I wasn't saying anything specific.
No.
I was just, you know.
No, I just as
a whole, you know.
Yeah, I like to breathe.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Yeah, no, for sure. And so Centinela, yeah, you know, I was there in 2005. You were there when? 2015, 16, 17, 18?
No, it was 17, 18. Yeah.
17, 18. So how you like it?
It was a whole different experience too, bro, because that was my first time to the 4-yard. You know, I went from level 3 to level 4. I had, you know, one of my good friends that was right there with me, you know. Yeah, I feel like that whole experience alone, like just with the people, because like you said, there's certain, certain group. Every prison's different, Every prison's different.
Every yard is different.
Every prison's different. Every yard's different. So you get those groups, and I felt like I learned a lot,
Yeah.
It was humbling coming from, out of state.
Yeah.
And
Out of state was wild. I don't even want to talk about it.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah. I
feel
don't like
we'll
talking
get
about
beat
it.
up, both of us, by talking about
I like to explain it like it was a party when I first got there.
Yeah, but
it
I mean,
changed over time.
I'm not gonna down. I'm not gonna downplay it either because it was very, very serious.
Yeah.
But also I don't want to talk about it because I feel like
No, that's what I mean. Like I was there. How long were you there for? A minute too.
I was there for a year.
I was there for 2.5.
Yeah.
So it kind of changed. It changed over that period of time. But yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, no, for sure. I don't even want to go there. So Centinela, how was the food right there?
Centinela was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that part.
Do you remember the air
Because
channels?
the breakfasts were fire.
Do you remember the air channels that go like the channels from Mexico, the radio stations from Mexico?
Not
You
too much
remember all
the
that?
channels. Not too
No?
much the channels. No.
The food, no more peanut butter, huh?
About Centinela, bro, I remember it like. I feel like that was one of the more places where everybody kind of moved as a unit.
Yeah, no, that's I commend that. I respect that. I love to hear about that.
Yeah.
But also I feel like you have a very interesting story. This little interview right here is just a stepping stone. If you choose to walk that route, you know what I'm saying? If you choose to go that route, there's gonna be more interviews for you with bigger platforms that are more well established. And I don't want to take all the content that you have
no,
into one,
because I've never, I've never really,
Yeah.
a lot of people, I've never really shared none of this, with nobody. But I feel like those that have walked that same, that same path and that same journey, they're like-minded, because of those experiences. Each place and each spot, like I was able to like, it shaped and molded me. Like I drew from each, like because along the way there was a lot of dudes that were like falling off. Bro,
Yeah, no. I mean, it is that's neither here nor there, dog. You are blessed. I am blessed to be alive. We're blessed to be here.
And that's why, like I just us, like you said, us being here right now, just
I wanted to
conversation.
I wanted to go somewhere with this. So what I was gonna say is, um, if you were okay, not if you were, now that you have that experience, for the kids that are gonna watch this, what do you wanna share with them? What is the message that you want them to absorb for the kids?
Yeah. No, I say I'm a dad, I'm a dad.
For the little youngster about to get jumped in right now, for maybe somebody that's already jumped in is gonna hit the county jail. Like, what is the message for them, dog? Do you have a message for them?
I think once like, I think there comes a point, like there not just one point, but there's multiple times in your life where you're gonna have to make decisions. Like you're gonna have to face the music and always stay to like you always gotta ask yourself why you started and like it's not even so much where you come from,
but a positive message though.
Yeah, like
we're not here to give clechita.
They can learn that in there, that shit then.
Nah. I mean, it is what it is,
A positive message, bro.
I would like to hear a positive message from you because you went through some stuff, bro.
Yeah.
So for you to do an interview, bro, and you don't have a positive message, I know you do.
Yeah.
But if you don't leave it, it's gonna be kind of like a waste of time.
Yeah. Nah. I think a big. It sounds simple and cliche, but it's just to keep going. There's been a lot of points that none of that shit was easy. None of that stuff was easy. I'm pretty sure you know it firsthand. There's been those moments where you feel like how am I gonna keep going? Why am I gonna keep going? But you gotta keep pushing and understand, bro, that God's really You know, really has. You know,
Yeah.
I believe that. I believe God has a plan for my life.
Oh,
You know,
for sure.
and there's been multiple times where it could have been the end of it.
Yeah.
You know.
So I'll leave my own message here, and I'm gonna say it like this. Look, check it out, man. Straight up, I'm gonna be honest, and I'm gonna say it like this. Uh, for those of you that are young, just get a job. If you don't know where to go, join one of the local unions. If you can't do that, get your Class A license and start working, building experience, and try to build yourself a family, acquire a family, try to get a house, make a business, try to make a difference in the community, not only for you but for everyone else out there. And yes, indeed, for yourself. This is Cholo Juan, all up in the building.
Hey,
If the homeboy has something to say, I am outro.
can I? I got my message, dog. I got my message for real. I think
I'm not gonna cut nothing out though,
it's
unless you want me to.
I mean, it's up to you. You know,
Yeah, come on.
it's up to you. I think for like after you saying all that, bro, I think what I stand for and like what I represent and anybody that can relate to it, it's really like a time for us to start thinking different. You know, it's just like how you said. You know, we didn't grow up thinking about being homeowners or you know, like you said, being a staple in the community or doing something, you know, that's really gonna leave a mark, you know. Like when we're in that headspace of gangbanging and going to jail and prison and drugs, whatever it may be, we're not thinking like that, you know.
Yeah.
Like I think, you know, for us to really set an example and be that standard and those models for the little homies and for those that are coming after us, it's just time to start thinking different, dog. You know, we want to be, you know, we want to do things the right way, you know.
This was a very, very good talk that I had with you, my boy. I'm gonna cut this short. Anybody that wants to get at the homie, where do they get at you at? If you want to give your information out.
Instagram, you know,
Instagram?
P underscore shooters with the Z. You know, tap in. We got the music going on. My little brother BG did it. You know,
You a rapper now?
My little brother, we be putting out music.
You rapping?
You haven't followed? Check out the page too, dog. You gotta tap in.
You're rapping.
And my YouTube.
Oh, I didn't know
We got
that.
a couple.
Dog.
It's just a couple songs. You know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say rapping, but you know, we love music, dog. We love music. We love putting it out. Shout out my boy NOX Raps, you know, from Chicas. You know,
you rapping with him?
Yeah, I made a song with him. You can check it out. It's on YouTube.
I didn't even know that.
Nah, you know, we're working. You know, we're working. We're trying to work, and like I said, do it right, dog, because we did it wrong for a long time.
We'll tap in. You know, if I do have like some type of resources or whatever on that, you know, I'll hit you up on that. You already know we're tapped in regardless. Like I told you, and I don't know if you mind if I say it, but I did tell you, dog. Hit me up for whatever positive you got going. If it's negative, you're on your own.
Nah, no negativity over here, my boy.
Ahí estamos, pues, my boy. I'm gonna cut this short and then we'll talk after that.
Shout out to 5, man, 805 Ventura
Any
County,
shout outs? Family, homies?
All of them, man. Shout out to Park. Shout out, you know, all the homies from right here too, you know, Ventura County. You know, all the 805. We coming, you know. You could probably cut it right there.
Okay, coffee, black or what type of coffee do you like?
I like it black. No, I don't drink it black no more. I used to like it black a lot. Now I started. It's got to be just right, bro. I put a little bit of creamer.
A little bit of creamer. That's it.
Yeah.
A little Cholo
I like getting, you know, but I mean, if I'm getting some fancy shit, I'm getting that shaken espresso.
Take off the hat for the ladies so they can see your eyes, perreo.
I'm not.
So they can see your eyes,
I'm not single right now, dog.
That's an Edgar Cholo right there.
I'm gonna have a ring on my finger pretty soon.